It starts with a knock, a simple, unassuming sound, yet one that can unravel the threads of your reality. A knock at your door late at night. The kind of knock that echoes through the stillness, that makes the hairs on your neck stand on end. You aren't expecting anyone. No friends, no family, no deliveries. The hour is late, far past any reasonable time for visitors. A sense of unease begins to creep in, a feeling that something is not quite right. The world outside is silent. Eerily so. No cars passing, no dogs barking, no crickets chirping. Just an unsettling quiet that amplifies the pounding of your own heart. The silence seems to press in, a heavy blanket smothering any sense of normalcy. You approach, each step measured, hesitant. Curiosity and unease mixing in your chest, a cocktail of apprehension and morbid fascination. What could possibly be waiting on the other side of that door? Through the peephole your eyes struggle to adjust to the dim light. And then you see them. 2 children. Young, maybe 10 to 13. Their faces are pale, indistinct in the shadows. They stand unnaturally still, their eyes fixed on the door. Something about them is off, an unsettling aura, a subtle wrongness that prickles your skin. It's not just the late hour or the silence, but something deeper, something inherently disturbing. Their presence feels wrong, like a glitch in reality, a violation of the natural order. They seem to emanate a coldness that seeps through the wood of the door. Why are children out so late? Alone? Where are their parents? What circumstances could possibly lead them to your doorstep at this ungodly hour? The questions swirl in your mind, unanswered and unsettling. They ask to use your phone, their voices barely audible through the door, claiming their car broke down, stranded on some deserted road, or they need to call their parents, lost and worried sick. Their story is plausible, almost believable, but the feeling of wrongness persists. Their voices are flat, mature, and strangely insistent. There's a chilling lack of emotion, a robotic quality that belies their youthful appearance. A primal fear warns you, a deep-seated instinct screaming at you to stay away, to protect yourself. Do not open the door. No matter how innocent they seem, no matter how compelling their story, do not break that barrier. You hesitate, torn between helping what appear to be children in need and a growing dread that chills you to the bone. Your empathy wars with your survival instinct. This is the classic encounter with the black-eyed children. A modern urban legend that has spread like wildfire through the internet age. The legend preys on our fear of the unknown, our vulnerability, and our inherent desire to help those in need. It taps into a primal fear, home invasion, and the subversion of innocence. The idea that something so pure, so harmless, could be a mask for something truly sinister. The children seem vulnerable, lost, and in need of assistance, yet radiate menace, a palpable sense of danger that defies logic. The longer you look, the more the wrongness grows, the more the subtle details begin to stand out, the more your unease solidifies into a chilling certainty. Their request is simple, almost childlike, but chilling in its implications. Let us in. The words hang in the air, a silent command that echoes in the darkness. They can't enter without your permission. The threshold of your home is a boundary, a sacred space that requires an invitation. The choice is yours, and yours alone. Help what looks like lost children, offering them aid and comfort, or trust your gut, that instinct that screams at you that something is terribly wrong, that these are not what they seem. The responsibility, the potential consequences, and the risk are entirely in your hands. The weight of the decision presses down on you, heavy and suffocating. Do you open the door, inviting them into your sanctuary, or do you turn them away, condemning them to the night, but potentially saving yourself from something far worse? The terror lies in that decision, in the uncertainty of what awaits you on either side of that closed door. What is it that sets these children apart? What subtle or not so subtle details mark them as something unnatural? What makes the black-eyed children so instantly recognizable, so deeply unsettling? It's more than just a feeling, it's a collection of traits, a disturbing combination of features that trigger a primal sense of unease. Their eyes, completely black, devoid of any discernible iris or pupil. It's the first and often the most striking feature that people notice. No whites, no pupils, just an endless, inky void staring back at you. It's a gaze that seems to penetrate, to look right through you, unsettling in its intensity. These eyes are, without a doubt, the most terrifying feature. They are the windows to something else, something not human. Often you don't notice at first. Perhaps it's the dim light or the way they position themselves. They instinctively hide their faces in shadow, as if aware of the effect their eyes will have. They seem to prefer the darkness lurking just beyond the edge of perception. But when they finally look up, when their eyes meet yours, the shock is paralyzing. It's a moment of pure, unadulterated terror that freezes you in place. Their skin is pale, almost translucent, with a disturbing lack of color. It's an unnatural pallor, almost artificial, like a porcelain doll. Their movements are stiff, almost robotic, lacking the fluidity and spontaneity of a normal child. Their demeanor is eerily calm, devoid of the usual childish energy and exuberance. They speak in a monotone, their voice flat and devoid of emotion. And they speak with vocabulary too advanced for their age, using words and phrases that seem out of place coming from a child. It's as if they're mimicking human speech but not quite getting it right. They repeat their request to be let in, often knocking persistently at your door. They are never angry, never threatening, just relentlessly persistent in their request. Their unwavering stare is unnerving, their determination unsettling. Witnesses describe an overwhelming sense of dread, a feeling of profound unease that washes over them in the presence of these children. It's as if you're being preyed upon, targeted by something ancient and malevolent. Their clothing is simple, often outdated, as if they've stepped out of another era. Hooded sweatshirts, dark colors, anything to further obscure their features and blend into the shadows. They don't fit in, they feel out of place, as if they are somehow out of time, or perhaps not even from this world. All these details, each seemingly insignificant on its own, the black eyes, pale skin, odd behavior, the unsettling calmness, combine into a package of pure wrongness, a violation of the natural order. They are designed, whether consciously or unconsciously, to trigger our deepest fears, to tap into our most primal instincts. The sense of menace is unmistakable, even if they never explicitly threaten you. You know, instinctively, deep down in your gut, that letting them in, inviting them across that threshold would be a catastrophic mistake. The black-eyed children are the embodiment of the uncanny valley, a chilling glimpse into something that is almost human, but fundamentally, terrifyingly, not. The black-eyed children legend echoes ancient fears. Many cultures tell of supernatural beings disguised as children, changelings, demons, jinn, seeking entry into homes. The need for permission is a recurring theme, seen in vampire lore and other folklore. The home is sacred, breached only by invitation. The black-eyed children are a modern twist on these old fears, innocence masking something predatory. They are a new face for an ancient archetype. The legend's modern roots trace back to the mid-1990s, specifically 1996. This was a time when the internet was still in its relative infancy, a new frontier for sharing information, and, as it turns out, for birthing modern folklore. It was then that journalist Brian Bethel, a name now synonymous with the black-eyed children phenomenon, shared his chilling story online. He recounted an experience that would soon capture the imaginations of countless individuals and spark a wave of similar tales. He was parked outside a movie theater late one night, the kind of setting that already lends itself to a sense of unease and anticipation. The darkness, the quiet hum of the car, the distant sounds of the city, all contributed to the atmosphere. It was in this setting that two young boys approached his car, their figures emerging from the shadows. They politely asked him for a ride, a seemingly innocent request that would soon take a sinister turn. As he looked at them, an unexplainable and overwhelming sense of fear gripped him, a primal instinct screaming at him to be wary. It was a feeling he couldn't quite place, a dread that seemed to emanate from the very presence of these children. The boys then insisted, their voices taking on a strange, almost hypnotic quality, saying, "We can't get in unless you say it's okay." It was an odd request, a subtle manipulation that only heightened Bethel's growing unease. Then the detail that cemented the horror of the encounter: he saw their eyes, solid black, completely devoid of any whites or irises. Just two pools of infinite darkness staring back at him. Completely terrified and acting on pure instinct, Bethel sped away, his heart pounding in his chest. He knew he had to escape, to put as much distance as possible between himself and those unsettling children. He glanced in his rearview mirror, half expecting to see them still standing there, but when he looked back, the boys had vanished without a trace, as if they had simply dissolved into the night. His detailed and unsettling account shared on the burgeoning internet struck a nerve online, resonating with a deep-seated fear of the unknown and the uncanny. Before Bethel's story, there were no documented accounts, no shared experiences of encounters with children possessing such unnerving characteristics. It was a truly unique and disturbing narrative. But afterward something shifted. Others began to come forward. tentatively at first, then with increasing confidence, sharing their own similar tales of encounters with black-eyed children. His story, with its specific details and chilling atmosphere, became the template, the foundational narrative upon which the entire black-eyed children phenomenon would be built. It served as the blueprint for the black-eyed children legend, shaping the way people perceived and understood these unsettling encounters. Whether rooted in fact or purely a product of collective imagination, it undeniably launched a modern urban myth, a chilling tale that continues to circulate and evolve to this day. The legend spread like wildfire, fueled by a potent combination of fear, the inherent human fascination with the macabre, and a morbid fascination with the unexplained. It tapped into a primal fear of the unknown, of the unsettling presence of something not quite human, and even now, decades later, Brian Bethel's initial encounter remains the most famous and widely circulated account of the black-eyed children. Bethel's post was the spark, the internet was the fuel. Early web forums and email lists spread the story quickly. The legend evolved as people shared their own encounters. Reports multiplied. Single children, groups, boys and girls in all kinds of places. Social media and YouTube supercharged the spread. Creepypasta and short films blurred the line between fact and fiction. Doctored photos and videos made the legend feel real. The black-eyed children became a multimedia phenomenon. The internet turned a single story into a global myth. It's a legend built for the digital age. Online forums shaped the legend, creating a feedback loop. Details like monotone voices and dread became standard as stories were shared and reinforced. The legend grew richer, evolving with each retelling. Mainstream media picked it up. TV shows, movies, books, bringing it to wider audiences. The black-eyed children became a horror trope, a brand. Commercialization spread the story further, sometimes diluting the original fear. The internet and media created a self-perpetuating cycle. People's real experiences became colored by the legend. Each new story reinforced the myth for the next person. The digital campfire keeps the tale alive. Believe. For some, it's personal experience and overwhelming, inexplicable fear. Others accept the paranormal, seeing the legend as just another unexplained phenomenon. Consistent details across stories are seen as evidence by believers. Skeptics argue it's fiction, a creepypasta gone viral. They point to psychological explanations, fear of home invasion, tricks of the mind in low light. The black eyes could be a product of panic or misperception. No clear evidence exists, no photos, no proof. The legend persists as a compelling story, not a proven fact. It's a battle between belief and skepticism. The legend taps into ancient fears, thresholds, the uncanny and the unknown. Doorways and windows are liminal spaces, battlegrounds between safety and danger. The need for invitation echoes vampire lore. The black-eyed children are the ultimate uncanny valley. Almost human but not. Their disguise as children is a classic trickster motif. They embody the fear of strangers and hidden intentions. We never learn what happens if you let them in. The ambiguity is what makes them terrifying. They are a modern symbol of ancient anxieties. The legend endures because it speaks to something primal. What are the black-eyed children? Paranormal entities, demons, aliens, or pure fiction? For those who've seen them, the danger feels real. For others, it's a modern folktale, a metaphor for our deepest fears. The legend thrives in the gray area between belief and doubt. There's no proof, only testimony and terror. The story reflects our own beliefs and anxieties. In the end, the power is in the question, not the answer. Imagine it's you. Late at night, a knock at the door. Two children stand outside, eyes black as night, asking to be let in. What would you do? Would you open the door,